Watch News starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach. Coming up this half hour, Missouri Southern takes on Northeastern State in some college basketball action. We'll look back at Saturday's game, and it's National Freedom Day. For our Something to Talk About, we're asking what freedom means to you. But first, a check on your forecast.
Key question for today is how quickly we're going to move this cloud cover out to the east, starting to clear in the far western portion of southeast Kansas. And the faster we break, the warmer we're going to be on this Monday, as we see 31 right now from the Freeman Health System sky camera with a wind chill clocking in at 23. Temperatures right at, if not just a little bit below freezing, but we're on the dry side as the wind comes in from the north-northwest, resulting in some chillier temperatures as far as what it feels like. Independence now down to 19, feels like 22 in Mount Vernon and 23 in Neosho. Got a big storm system for the northeast. It's on the other side of the Mississippi, though. Won't pose us any problems as we're going to have back-to-back days of very nice weather. There goes those aforementioned clouds. Get out of here, and that gives us a very clear overnight, but of course that also means it's going to be pretty chilly as well. As we get to our 7-day forecast, you'll see we have a warming trend here to begin February, as we're going to see 40s today, 50s in the middle of the week, if not a 60 by Thursday. And that's when our next cold front will drop in. Got a chance for rain on Friday and snow on Saturday.
Chilly out there, though, right now.
Yeah, that wind chill, like I said, coming in from the north-northwest at 10, 12 miles per hour, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, thank you, Michael. The Jasper County Health Department is asking for patience as it continues to schedule county residents for vaccination against the coronavirus. The department took to social media yesterday to explain their supply of vaccine and cannot currently meet the demand in Jasper County. But they also say they'll keep scheduling vaccination clinics as they receive more vaccine. They also want county residents who were recently vaccinated at the Joplin Athletic Complex with the National Guard to know that they are automatically scheduled to return in 3 weeks to the same site and at the same appointment time to receive their second shot. Via Christi in Pittsburgh is making changes to its visitor guidelines. Effective February 1st, the hospital will allow patients who are admitted to have one visitor per day between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Additionally, patients seeking care in the emergency departments at either Pittsburgh or Fort Scott will be allowed to have one visitor with them. At this time, no visitors are being allowed for patients receiving care for confirmed or suspected COVID-19. Except for end-of-life situations or for patients who cannot advocate for themselves. A Pittsburgh man is dead following a wreck on US 59 highway. It happened just before 5:30 yesterday evening, about 2 miles north of K47 in Neosho County, Kansas. Police say 26-year-old Jesse White was traveling north on US 59 when his vehicle went off the left side of the road and overturned multiple times. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A 36-year-old passenger suffered minor injuries. Officials with the Jasper County Sheriff's Office say the person of interest in the murder of Becky Sanders of Sarcoxie has been found dead. Officials say the Coleman County Sheriff's Office in Alabama received information about a possible location for Justin Chase Stevens. Authorities say the information they received said Stevens was staying in the garage apartment of a residence in Coleman County. Deputies surrounded the house and attempted to call him out. However, after Stevens did not respond to requests to come out, deputies entered the garage and found Stevens dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. 4 people were found dead inside their Sand Spring, Oklahoma home. Police are investigating what appears to be a triple murder-suicide, which resulted in the death of 2 children and 2 adults Saturday. Mariah Ellis has more.
Sand Springs police and detectives are working to find out what led to the death of an entire family Saturday afternoon.
We believe that the children are the biological children of the adults that are in the house.
Officers say they were called to this mobile home in the Sunburst Estates by a woman who was checking on her son and 2 grandkids. They say she found all 3 of them dead, as well as the mother.
You know, this is quite a tragedy for our community.
Captain Todd Ensbrenner says they're investigating this case as a triple murder-suicide. At this time, police are not releasing who was the shooter, as they're still trying to piece together this case.
Everybody who's involved, it's hard on them. It's hard on the family members. It's hard on my officers. It's hard on the medical people.
Police interviewed several neighbors around the crime scene looking for any information on what happened. Officers believe there is no danger to the public and this was an isolated incident.
We'll work the investigation as wherever it takes us.
Police have not yet identified the victims. Saturday was National Seed Swapping Day, and in Joplin, one local event is trying to show residents that anyone can learn to grow their own food. The community seed swap is meant as a way for people who have way too many seeds on their hands to swap with others. Cheryl Franklin, who organized the event, says she hopes this event will inspire newcomers to consider growing their own crops.
Wonderful thing to be able to grow your own food and harvest your own food, and it's so much more healthy for you when you can go out and pick it from your own backyard and it didn't travel 1,000 miles.
Newcomers without seeds to share were asked to give an optional small donation and given instructions along with their new seeds. For the past 10 years, Bright Futures has been making snack packs for students in need to help them get food through the weekend. They make 408 snack packs each weekend and have served more than 138,000 kids in their history. Those snack packs include things like peanut butter crackers, beef jerky sticks, fruit, and milk. Bright Futures is looking for donations to their program to ensure they can continue to serve kids and families in need.
Kids come to school hungry. They can't really focus on the important parts of school and childhood. They can't focus on learning and making friends and playing and growing. So to know that our community is really helping support these kids in this very foundational way is incredibly meaningful to us.
It's very rewarding to know that you're helping that many kids. The downside is we have to help that many kids. Unfortunately, it happens, and it happens everywhere.
If you'd like to donate either time or money, we've put a link in this story on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. It's 5:07.
Always good to see our friend Larry Warren and the great work that board does as well. Skywatch Storm Tracker, we're monitoring cloud cover. Not any precipitation, but it's going to play a factor in how quickly we can warm up today. Sunrise at 7:20. Gradually clearing skies. Wind will come in from the north later on today and actually die down a little bit, just 5 to 10 miles per hour. But check out this trend to begin February as we're going to pitch mid-50s by the end of the week. Throw a 60 up there by the time we get to Thursday.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, a look back at the PSU MIAA Challenge on Saturday. Plus, we'll tell you what historical event National Freedom Day marks and the latest on the rush to get the nation vaccinated. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Pittsburgh State men and women swept the competition on Saturday at the Wendy's MIAA Challenge. Our own sports director, Jacob Leonard, gives us a look back at some of the best of Saturday afternoon.
The Pittsburgh State men and women finished on top of the standings at the PSU MIAA Challenge Saturday. Junior Cameron Wright won the pole vault for the Gorillas.
This is my favorite place to jump. I mean, I practiced here, conference was here last year, my PR is here. This is just, home is just a different environment.
His mark of 16 feet, 10.75 inches is the third best in Division II this season.
Feels good, but I want more. I mean, I know I have 525, 535 in me, so I just got to focus and execute what I'm capable of doing.
The Gorillas also got a win from freshman Tim Johnson in the high jump. Johnson cleared 6 feet 7 inches, his best mark in his young collegiate career.
This is the second meet, and I got to come and compete, do good, and it's going to give me confidence to go to another meet and do really good.
The Missouri Southern women finished second as a team on Saturday. It was a nice afternoon for sophomore Claire Llewellyn. Llewellyn posted an NCAA qualifying mark in the 60-meter hurdles, winning with a time of 8.68 seconds. She also won the long jump with a best mark of 18 feet 5 inches.
It feels pretty good. I don't really think about placement. I really think about personal markings. Obviously, placement makes you feel a little bit better. But I'm up against good competition, and I'm happy that I am because it pushes me further.
On the men's side, Peyton Barton won the weight throw for MSSU. Barton smashed his personal best with a toss of 63 feet 6 inches.
It's real nice to get a PR because, like I said, it helps with confidence. But like I said, there's still more coming, and I just got to figure some more things out, and I'm ready for what the season brings.
Pitt State All-American Haven Lander won the pole vault for the Gorillas Saturday, her third straight win to start the season. Pitt State Gorillas hit the road Saturday night to face Rogers State. We're talking college basketball now. On the women's side, Gorillas trying for back-to-back wins after topping at SU on Thursday. Tristan Gegg, career-high 32 points. Kaylee DeMitz adds 26 as the Gorillas top the Hillcats 92-81. Pitt State men then come back and make it a sweep as well, winning 86-75. Missouri Southern in action at Northeastern State. A double-double for Maddie Stokes. 20 points, 18 rebounds. Lions win it 68-61. As for the Southern men, make it 3 straight wins for them as they top the Riverhawks 183. 31 points for Cam Lawson. Lawson Jenkins adds 29. It's now less than 1 week from Super Bowl Sunday. Of course, that's right here on KOAM, February 7th. Kick at 5:30, but of course, you know how we'll have coverage all day. Chiefs and Bucks duke it out for the Lombardi Trophy. Last time these two teams faced off, just back in November, wasn't too long ago. Chiefs had a 17-point lead, ended up winning by 3. Chief safety Tyrann Mathieu says his team learned from the first meeting and it shut down Tom Brady. Chiefs need to play 4 quarters of sound football.
You know, obviously we gave up some big plays, but most of those things were technique things, things that we can clean up. So it's all about us just, you know, going back over the details, going back over the little things, you know, understanding that, you know, we're playing against Tom Brady and it's going to take 4 quarters to kind of put this guy away. And doesn't matter how many points we're up by or what the situation is going into the second half. We got to find a way to kind of close the door on Tom because he's always shown, you know, the ability to put his team, you know, back in the game. So it was a learning experience for us, and hopefully, you know, we've learned from it, and we'll be ready to roll next time around.
A couple things I want to talk about before we get out of here. Number one, KOAM News Now Facebook page. It's Mahomes Monday is what we're calling it. Send in your pictures of you and your Patrick Mahomes gear. And get this, coming up in our next half hour, we're going to do this all week long. You got a chance to put your football knowledge to the test and win some real money. We're calling it Run It Back Trivia. And right after Nation Watch, we're going to ask 3 different trivia questions that you can answer just from the comfort of your own home. It's just like the KOAM News Now Insta Poll, except this time, go to KOAMNewsNow.com/trivia. Person who answers not just the correct answers, but also answers the fastest, a $50 gift card. Don't forget to fill out the form afterwards so we know who to send it to. And again, Run It Back Trivia kicks off after Nation Watch. Make sure you're tuned in about 6:35. You should have plenty of time to play. If you don't win, like I said, don't worry about this go around because we're doing this every day for the rest of the week. Still to come on the KOAM Morning News, protests break out in Russia amid the arrest of opposition leader Alexei Navalny. We'll have the latest and a check on our 7-day forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Just a touch past 5:17. Hard to believe we are opening up February and opening up with really a warming trend on our hands. Not too bad from the Freeman Health System sky camera for a morning temperature right now of 31 for this time of year. Wind is actually going to lighten up, but the fact that it's coming in double digits right now has presented some wind chills that are down into the teens. Our actual temperatures hovering right at, if not just a little bit below freezing. Sunrise on the bus stop forecast. We'll call it 720 over Joplin. Temperature's going to be a little bit stagnant. And the reason being, we've just got this cloud cover that's hanging over us. Out in the western part of southeast Kansas, already beginning to clear. Our temperature is really contingent on how far this wants to move off to the east. Now, no precipitation involved with it, just kind of hanging there, not doing anything. All the action really east of the Mississippi. Big winter storm system stretching from the Tennessee River Valley all the way to the northeastern portion of the United States. And we know what that purple and white means. That's going to be winter storm watches and warnings, and those are going to last all the way into tomorrow for them. Now here in the 4 states, gradually clearing skies once that cloud cover does depart off to the east, and going to be absolutely delightful, really right on par for where we'd anticipate beginning the month of February right there. And as I mentioned, that wind actually going to die down a little bit, just come in at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then overnight, it'll shift to the east at 5 to 10 as well. Now, with that wind shift also means some warmer temperatures on the horizon. Our first 4 days of February are just going to keep on warming up each and every day to the point where we'll go 40s today and then 50s by the time we get to tomorrow. You can watch the color contour right here. Just with each passing day, try to expand a little bit farther to the north. Now, by the time we get to Thursday, we're not only going to be abnormally warm all the way up into the 60s, but that'll be our next chance for some precipitation as well. That'll, of course, stay in the form of rain if we're going to be that warm. Now, Friday and Saturday, a little bit different because then we've got a cold front that's going to sweep in, give us a chance for Friday morning rain and even the chance for snow then on Saturday. Time now to turn our attention to the KOAM News Now Facebook page. It's our Something to Talk About. Today happens to be National Freedom Day. February 1st, 1865, the day President Lincoln signed the 13th Amendment outlawing slavery in the United States. A former slave in Philadelphia named Richard Robert Wright Sr. pushed for the creation of National Freedom Day to celebrate it. President Harry Truman signed the bill proclaiming February 1st as National Freedom Day in 1948, and for many years it was marked in Philadelphia with a wreath-laying ceremony at the Liberty Bell. Many American towns host festivals and celebrations as well, and our question on the KOAM News Now Facebook page, what does freedom mean to you? Log on, let us know. Also, too, don't forget on our Facebook page, it's a Mahomes Monday. Send us any pictures that you have in your Patrick Mahomes gear, and we'll get to those as well. Health Watch is next.
Topping Health Watch this morning, January ends as the U.S.'s deadliest month of the COVID-19 pandemic, with more than 95,000 deaths, and that's according to Johns Hopkins University data. As the nation enters February, health officials are again stressing the importance of mask wearing, keeping appropriate distance from others. John Lawrence reports.
Saw its COVID-19 hospitalizations drop below 100,000 this weekend, according to the COVID Tracking Project. That's a low not seen since December 1st.
We have a little breathing room right now, but if these new variants become dominant in our country, we are going to be right back where we were in November and December, and perhaps even worse.
Despite the drop in hospitalizations, the 7-day average of new cases is similar to what it was in December, and the average number of deaths per day has more than doubled since that time.
The surge that is likely to occur with this new variant from England is going to happen in the next 6 to 14 weeks. And if we see that happen, which my 45 years in the trenches tell us we will, we are going to see something like we have not seen yet in this country.
The University of Washington's Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation's latest model projects close to 120,000 additional Americans could die from COVID-19 within the next 2 months, at least in part because of the variants. And the numbers could be even worse with a more rapid spread of variants.
Just going to the grocery store, to school, or to work could become more dangerous.
More than 31 million COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in the U.S. thus far, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. As health officials push people to roll up their sleeves, many areas report more willing people than available shots. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The CDC has a new order going into effect Monday night that requires people to wear masks while on any form of public transportation. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to a substantial decline in heart surgeries. Researchers analyzing a national database found a 53% drop in cardiac surgery compared to 2019, and those who do undergo operations are experiencing worse outcomes. The latest count shows more than 2.6 million children in the U.S. have tested positive for the coronavirus. That's nearly 13% of all cases. The American Academy of Pediatrics says the numbers underscore the urgency of controlling the spread so students can safely return to school. For patients in the earlier stages of osteoarthritis, doctors say there's an underused procedure that can prevent the need for a total knee replacement. Study in Canada says the surgery, called high tibial osteotomy, has shown considerable success in younger patients and that most do not need a knee replacement within the next 10 years. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
That's because cloud cover just kind of hanging out. It is dry, though. We don't have to worry about Any precipitation throughout the Midwest could provide for a gorgeous sunrise, especially if you're right along that dividing line of where the cloud cover is. Speaking of, we will call that 720 in Joplin. Going to hang out in the 30s for a while before we gradually clear off and make it up into the 40s. And that begins a February warming trend with 50s by the middle of the week, 60 up there for Thursday.
4 States Most Watched News starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Tanya Bach. Coming up this half hour, our morning talker today is about National Freedom Day. We're simply asking what freedom means to you. And a Webb City woman cooks up a way to support the Chiefs with a little bit of home arts and crafts. But first, a check on your forecast.
A little bit stuck with our cloud cover right here. It just doesn't want to budge on us. It hasn't been too bad though. Mostly cloudy start. And from the Freeman Health System sky camera, temperature sitting at 31 degrees, thanks in part to the north wind. We do have some wind chills in effect, hanging right at the freezing mark. No precipitation to worry about, however. You got any water sitting outside, you may want to go break it up just a little bit. Wind chills dropping as low as 18 right now in Independence, 22 in Lamar, and 23 in Neosho. Big storm system from the Tennessee River Valley all the way to the northeastern portion of the United States, but everything of action staying on the other side of the Mississippi as our temperatures are going to steadily increase to begin February. As a matter of fact, we'll go 40s today, we'll go 50s tomorrow, we'll go high 50s Wednesday, we'll go 60 on Thursday. Then in the words of Nick Kelly, Nick just going to go ahead, he's going to call it an Arctic blast.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. Look at that Saturday, Sunday.
That's cold.
I was thinking about it yesterday morning.
Man,
with it being the last day of January. Because yesterday morning was nice. I'm like, February's going to get us. I just had a feeling.
It's going to be a chilly weekend, that's for sure. All right, thanks, Michael. The Jasper County Health Department is asking for patience as it continues to schedule county residents for vaccination against the coronavirus. The department took to social media yesterday to explain its supply of vaccine cannot currently meet the demand in Jasper County. But the department also says they'll keep scheduling vaccination clinics as they receive more vaccine. They also want county residents who were recently vaccinated at the Joplin Athletic Complex with the National Guard to know that they are automatically scheduled to return in 3 weeks to the same site and at the same appointment time to receive their second shot. Pittsburgh, Kansas man is dead following a wreck on US 59 highway. It happened just before 5:30 yesterday evening, about 2 miles north of K47 in Neosho County, Kansas. Police say 26-year-old Jesse White was traveling north on US 59 when his vehicle went off the left side of the road and overturned multiple times. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A 36-year-old passenger suffered minor injuries. Officials with the Jasper County Sheriff's Office say the person of interest in the murder of Becky Sanders of Sarcoxie has been found dead. Officials say the Coleman County Sheriff's Office in Alabama received information about a possible location for Justin Chase Stevens. Authorities say the information they received said Stevens was staying in the garage apartment of a residence in Coleman County. Deputies surrounded the house and attempted to call him out. However, after Stevens did not respond to requests to come out, deputies entered the garage and found Stevens dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. A Missouri dad invested $4,500 of his money into bets on the app Robinhood. And then one of his investments, GameStop, stocks skyrocketed. It happened after an army of traders on Reddit bought up the stock in droves to raise its price. Now, after the chaos that erupted on Wall Street this week, he's a millionaire on paper. John Sarlant reports.
This is my account total at the moment on Robinhood.
Right now, there's more than $1 million sitting in AJ Vanover's Robinhood trading account, all thanks to a hugely risky bet on GameStop.
And I knew I was going to make money, but I got lucky with how it actually unfolded.
AJ is 31 years old and lives in Missouri with his family. In 2019, he started following Wall Street Bets, a chaotic and gleefully profane stock trading subreddit.
People weren't really going to step in and help you. Like, if you didn't know how options function.
Soon he was trading, and he had a hunch about the video game retailer GameStop. AJ says he bought 100 shares, and then some options, investing about $4,500 total. And then this happened.
A new twist in the Reddit-fueled stock roller coaster taking the world by storm.
Now this battery store worker who makes $35,000 a year is a millionaire, at least on paper, for now.
You haven't sold your stocks yet.
I want to make more money, and I feel confident it's going up. If it starts to run, I might see how far it goes now.
AJ and the online army of amateur investors he's a part of have rocked Wall Street. By buying up GameStop and other shares, the big hedge funds who were betting against those stocks lost billions. Just icing on the cake for AJ.
I wasn't happy about the 2008 crisis. It was kind of upsetting to see everybody get bailed out that really caused it, and nothing really happened. It is interesting this time to see them on the other end.
But AJ is playing a risky game. Plenty of folks in the Reddit community have racked up huge losses. In a 2020 farewell post, one member described losing years of savings, writing, "I went from a rational investor to some sick, irrational, desperate gambler." But no matter how this ends, the Reddit army has rattled Wall Street to its core.
How much of this do you think is a paradigm shift?
This is the first time I've ever seen the masses be able to win this big. And I think it's going to get a lot more people interested in actually getting into the markets.
Volatility prompted Robinhood to temporarily halt the trading of GameStop stock, a move which drew backlash from politicians on both sides of the aisle. Well, if anyone has been looking to spice up their normal Sunday routine, look no further. Yesterday, Blackthorn in Joplin hosted its Sunday brunch, but it wasn't a typical early afternoon meal. Instead, it was hosted by drag queens. Chabelle Chardonnay says they love doing drag because of how accepting the community is and how it allows them to express themselves.
The drag community is very diverse. I feel like drag itself is a great way for gender expression and art. I mean, it's not just dressing up, it's so much more than that. Each song we do, it could be a message, it could be, you know, a lot of people use their drag as like a shield, and drag's helped me get through a lot of stuff, but other than that, it's so much more than just putting on dress and wigs and heels and just doing your thing.
The owner of Blackthorn offered its space to the drag queens when they had no other place to perform. Now you can catch them there on the last Sunday of every month. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, how a local woman is getting crafty to support the Chiefs. Plus, a developing story in Myanmar where the country's military overthrows the democratically elected government following a coup. We'll have the latest there, but first, it's 5:37.
As the cloud cover eventually moves off to the east, we'll get sunny skies this afternoon. First day of February is going to be up in the 40s, and it's merely the beginning because we've got a warming trend that's going to have temps up in the 50s, if not 60s by Thursday. Now look at the far right-hand side. February is going to tease us a little bit as we're going to start the first 4 days with a warming trend, and then Saturday into Sunday, like I said, we're just going to describe it as an Arctic blast. There's some snow's going to move in, and overnight lows going to drop into the teens. All the latest on the Skywatch weather app and World Watch is next.
Topping World Watch, Myanmar's military has seized power in a coup against the elected government. The army has detained leader Aung San Suu Kyi and other members of the ruling party. Reports say the military has declared a one-year state of emergency. Soldiers surrounded the city hall in Myanmar's largest city, Yangon. Suu Kyi and other leaders were taken in a raid early this morning. There have been growing tensions between the civilian government and the army after Suu Kyi's ruling party, the National League for Democracy, claimed victory in November's election. The military claims that vote was fraudulent. Thousands of protesters hit the streets all across Russia on Sunday, demanding the release of jailed opposition leader Alexei Navalny. And in the wake of last weekend's protest, Russian authorities mounted a massive effort to stem the tide of demonstrations. Trey Yingst has their story.
More than 4,000 Russians were arrested today as protests in support of jailed opposition leader Alexei Navalny continued. Demonstrations were scheduled in 120 different cities. In the capital of Moscow, people marched to the jail where Navalny is being held, As they gathered in the street, the group faced a heavy law enforcement presence. Riot police hit some with batons while chasing down and arresting others. Reports indicate Navalny's wife Yulia was among those being detained as protesters show they are willing to fight for what they see as justice.
I'm not afraid because we are the majority and they are the minority. It's not rational when the majority is afraid of a small group of people. Billy clubs shouldn't scare us because the truth is on our side. As Alexei Navalny says, and that's right, we shouldn't be afraid.
In Russia's second largest city, St. Petersburg, police made hundreds of arrests. The Kremlin has called these demonstrations illegal, vowing to continue cracking down despite international opposition. The U.S. State Department has called for the release of Navalny and told the Russian government to respect the rights of those protesting. Navalny, who returned to Russia earlier this month after being poisoned last summer, remains in jail.
A court in Moscow rejected an appeal by Navalny's attorneys on Thursday to release him. He does have another hearing this week that could see him ordered to jail for more than 3.5 years. A massive explosion shook part of Mogadishu. According to police, jihadist rebels used a vehicle loaded with explosives to crash into the entrance of a hotel in Somalia's capital on Sunday. Armed gunmen then stormed the building and started shooting staff and guests. Police rushed to the scene and rescued as many people as they could. At least 7 people suffered injuries during the attack. Police have not announced the number of casualties. Al-Shabaab, Somalia's homegrown jihadist rebels, claimed responsibility for the attack. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Let's toss it over to Michael for our Something to Talk About.
Thank you, Tanya. This morning on the KOAM News Now Facebook page, it is National Freedom Day, February 1st, 1865, the day President Lincoln signed the 13th Amendment outlawing slavery in the United States. Our question is, what does freedom mean to you? Michelle Passini says never should have been slavery to begin with. That being said, somewhere along the line, respect for others was lost. I think that's what's blinding people now, like mask wearing. It's not losing your freedom, but simply having respect for others. I will add, I don't compare my life to what they went through. Must have been horrible. Have a wonderful day, KOAM and everyone. Michelle, you have a wonderful day as well. Rocky Cunningham, he said, thank a vet for that freedom. And Wayne Reel says, freedom, living in a place where we all feel safe and justice prevails. Wayne asking, can we get back there? Joe April Potter says, look who's in the White House. A disgrace, he's going to kill this country. Benny wants his 40 acres and a mule. And Glenn Ritchie, going back to what Rocky Cunningham says. He says, yep, Rocky, freedom isn't free. Thank a vet. Good morning, KOAM country, and good morning, crew. We say good morning, Glenn. Also, don't forget, on the KOAM News Now Facebook page, right above that, it is Chief Spirit Week that we kick off today with Mahomes Monday. Send us photos of you, your kids, even your pets getting into the team spirit, and we're going to run some of those pictures. Bust out that number 15 jersey. Maybe you got a headband. Maybe you got the good old Patrick Mahomes haircut as well. Let's have some fun with this. Let's come back with the news you need to know before you head out the door right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A Pittsburgh, Kansas man is dead following a wreck on US 59 highway. It happened just before 5:30 Sunday evening, about 2 miles north of K47 in Neosho County, Kansas. Police say 26-year-old Jesse White was traveling north on US 59 when his vehicle went off the left side of the road and overturned multiple times. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A 36-year-old passenger suffered minor injuries. Another fatal wreck yesterday evening, this one 2 miles east of Mount Vernon, Missouri. Missouri Highway Patrol says 27-year-old Matthew Vermillion of Ash Grove, Missouri, crossed the center line while traveling east on State Highway 174. Vermillion crashed head-on into an oncoming car and overturned. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the other vehicle was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Officials with the Jasper County Sheriff's Office say the person of interest in the murder of Becky Sanders of Sarcoxie, Missouri, has been found dead. Officials say the Coleman County Sheriff's Office in Alabama received information that Justin Chase Stevens was staying in a garage apartment of a home in Coleman County. Deputies surrounded the house and attempted to call him out when police entered the garage and found Stevens dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. The Jasper County Health Department is asking for patience as it continues to schedule county residents for vaccination against the coronavirus. The department took to social media yesterday to explain its supply of vaccine cannot currently meet the demand in Jasper County. They also say they'll keep scheduling vaccination clinics as they receive more vaccine. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Even with the cloud cover hanging over us, the nice thing is that at least it's a dry air mass, and so we don't have to worry about any precipitation, nor will we to begin first several days of February. It's going to be absolutely delightful. Now, our afternoon temperatures, as the cloud cover gradually moves off to the east, and we do have some sunshine, we are just a touch below normal. Average high this time of year would be around 47. Like I said, mid-40s, certainly not too bad. And it's actually just the beginning of a wonderful warming trend, because while we'll throw up 40s today, let's go ahead overnight, drop back down to 30s, and then throw up some 50s on Tuesday. And then we're not quite done. Now we're going to go mid to high 50s on Wednesday, close to 60 there on Thursday. Now, working for the weekend, here's what we got. We'll start as rain on Thursday. Massive cold front's going to roll in. That could flip some of that rain over to snow just in time for Friday morning. Temperatures then continue to drop as we see 30s on Saturday and 20s on Sunday. Look at that overnight low, too, between Saturday and Sunday. Only 13 degrees. Now, speaking of Sunday, I don't think you have a whole lot of outdoor plans, because we've got the countdown to the big game on KOAMnewsnow.com as we find ourselves 6 days, 11 hours, 39 minutes, and 20 seconds away from the Super Bowl between the Chiefs and Buccaneers that you can catch right here on KOAM. Kickoff at 5:30 and live Super Bowl coverage from Tampa Bay, Florida, all throughout the course of the day. Be back with more KOAM Morning News right after this. Remember, KOAM News Now Facebook page. We're kicking off our Spirit Week today with Mahomes Monday, inviting you to send us any photos of you, the kids, even if it's your pets, getting into the team spirit. And a little bit later this evening, we're going to roll through those pictures, bust out that number 15 jersey, a headband. If you rock the Patrick Mahomes haircut or one of the kids does, we want to see that as well. And remember, if you're ever just sitting around and you go, man, I wonder how long till that Super Bowl pops up. Well, you just go to KOAMnewsnow.com with our kickoff clock as we count down to the Super Bowl this Sunday. Kickoff, 5:30, right here on KOAM. Now, it's been 1 year since the Chiefs won their first Super Bowl in half a century, and a long year it has certainly been. We bring in our own Jesse Irwin to share how Chiefs fans are gearing up for Super Bowl Sunday. Jesse?
For anyone who's ever supported a sports team, a way that many people show their fandom is by rocking the team merchandise. Now, of course, when it comes to the Chiefs, local stores are almost bound to carry a variety of jerseys and products with the team logo and name on it, but some fans show their support through the art of DIY. Take Brooke Henderson, for example. She lives in Webb City. She's using her crafting skills to support the Chiefs on all sorts of home products, so her family is ready to go on Super Bowl Sunday. And while she's always been a fan of finding new creative outlets, Brooke found she recently got a Cricut custom cutting machine for Christmas, and what started as a side gig has now turned into quite the hustle.
Yeah, I've been busy from the time I wake up in the morning to my lunch break at work to as soon as I get home. I'm tired of seeing casserole dishes, but
You heard her correctly. Brooke is making and selling Chiefs casserole dishes. It is quite the process, but Brooke has found her rhythm with it. And so coming up in our next half hour, we're going to learn how Brooke decided to start making her custom cookware and how she and the Chiefs have some lifelong fans in common. So we'll have that for you coming up, Michael.
Also, don't forget, in our next hour here after Nation Watch is when we're going to do our Run It Back trivia. Chance for you to win a $50 gift certificate. It's similar in nature to our Insta poll, except this morning, get ready to go to KOAMnewsnow.com/trivia. We'll be right back after this.
Why the Jasper County Health Department is asking for patience as it continues to roll out the coronavirus vaccine. Plus, a Southeast Kansas man dies in a single vehicle wreck Sunday evening. And the latest after the person of interest in a Sarcoxy homicide is found dead.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach. Coming up this half hour, how a Chiefs fan got a little medieval with his sports apparel. And a little bit later, we'll challenge you to run it back trivia. Be sure to tune in and participate for a chance to win a $50 gift card. But first, a check on your forecast.
Here's where we stand from the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Clouds, it's a dry air mass, but the clouds just don't want to move on us. They're just saying we're just going to linger right here. Freeman Health System sky camera in Joplin, 31 degrees. We do have a little wind chill that's kicking in. All the temperatures right at 32 in Miami, 32 in Anderson, if not below 31 in Pittsburgh, 30 in Fort Scott. The freezing mark. Wind tracker is already beginning to subside, so that's kind of nice. We're down to 18 degrees for wind chills in Independence, 19 in Neodesha. Trio of quad of 23s. Lamar, Carthage, Webb, Neosho. All right there. Look at that mess they've got from the Tennessee River Valley all the way to the northeastern portion. But then you get on the west side of the Mississippi. It is nice and dry and is going to be warm for our first couple of days of February. And even though our overnights drop below freezing, right back into the 50s for Tuesday, Wednesday. Throw up a 60 by the time we get to Thursday. Absolutely ridiculous start. And then Mother Nature says, ha ha, I was just kidding. Massive cold front begins from Thursday all the way into the weekend, dropping us down as low as 13 degrees in between Saturday and Sunday.
We haven't hit that low yet this year, so.
I knew February was going to be, I had this feeling over the weekend.
Did we keep it out of the...
I didn't know she was going to tease us like this, though, and go, oh, 40s, 50s, 60s.
Were we able to keep it out of the teens as our low the entire month of January?
No, but we never saw 13.
Yeah. It's going to be painful. Bundle up. Well, Jasper County Health Department is asking for patience as it continues to schedule county residents for vaccination against the coronavirus. The department took to social media yesterday to explain its supply of vaccine cannot currently meet the demand in Jasper County. But they also say they'll keep scheduling vaccination clinics as they receive more vaccine. They also want county residents who were recently vaccinated at the Joplin Athletic Complex with the National Guard to know that they are automatically scheduled to return in 3 weeks to the same site and at the same appointment time to receive their second shot. A Pittsburgh, Kansas man is dead following a wreck on US 59 highway. It happened just before 5:30 yesterday evening, about 2 miles north of K47 in Neosho County, Kansas. Police say 26-year-old Jesse White was traveling north on US 59 when his vehicle went off the left side of the road and overturned multiple times. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A 36-year-old passenger suffered minor injuries. Officials with the Jasper County Sheriff's Office say the person of interest in the murder of Becky Sanders of Sarcoxie has been found dead. Officials say the Coleman County Sheriff's Office in Alabama received information about a possible location for Justin Chase Stevens. Authorities say the information they received said Stevens was staying in the garage apartment of a residence in Coleman County. Deputies surrounded the house and attempted to call him out. However, after Stevens did not respond to requests to come out, deputies entered the garage and found Stevens dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Well, many may be unaware of a holiday taking place Saturday surrounding farming. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with farmers at Joplin Empire Market to understand their passion for seeds.
In case you didn't know, today is National Seed Swapping Day. To celebrate, Ozarks Homesteading and Joplin Empire Market teamed up to create a community seed swap.
Sometimes we have too much of one thing, or something isn't working in our garden, or somebody's interested in growing something, and as a farmer I buy large quantities of seed, and so at the end of the season I'll have extras that I just want to share with people.
It's not just for farmers. The general public is welcome to pursue any interest they may have in the seed exchange, which heightened with the pandemic.
There's been a lot of interest in growing our own food. So we've been getting a lot of questions and a lot of interest in that. And again, this is just an opportunity to come in, talk to farmers and master gardeners, swap seed, drop seed off that you may have too much of, and just share that interest in growing our own food.
The main goal of the swap? To make gardening more accessible to everyone.
We just want people to plant gardens.
Cheryl Franklin, who helped organize the swap, says events like this create more transparency between farmers and the public.
People are concerned about pesticides and herbicides and things like that, and so you just can be assured that you're eating healthy foods and you know where it came from.
Not only was this a great networking opportunity for local gardeners, but it also opened new doors for newbies as well. In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Newcomers without seeds to share were asked to give an optional small donation and given instructions along with their new seeds. The Riverside Cowboy Church in Nevada hosted one of 5 rodeos at the Civil War Arena in Carthage. The rodeos are a fundraiser by the church. Each rodeo honors a different person. Saturday night's rodeo honored Callie Henson, who passed away in a car accident at the age of 18 and was a big horseback rider and member of the church.
Oh, she was an amazing young lady. She was that young lady who always had a smile on her face. She just loved Jesus, and she spent all her time making everybody else feel comfortable. And she just was amazing from the time I met her until she passed away.
Proceeds from this weekend's rodeo go to Callie's family and the church for a writers camp they host in the summer. Create and Sip in Joplin hosts a bi-monthly session where people can come in and paint a picture of their pet. You can send the owner a picture of your pet and he'll sketch it out on a canvas so you can come in and fill in the blanks. The owner and artist Coleman says even if you're not an expert at art, you can still have a good time.
Come by the studio, come have fun. Don't let the fact that it's painting or paint or that you've never painted before keep you from wanting to try it. Give it a try. You'll find it to be a lot of fun, very soothing, very relaxing. And if you need in this day and age right now a little bit of art therapy, this is a great way to do it.
If you'd like to paint your pet or find out about other painting opportunities, we've put a link in this story on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, some severe storms have moved through the area over the weekend. And take a look at this video from our affiliate KOTV in Tulsa, taken by one of their storm chasers near South Coffeyville, Oklahoma. This was around 2 Saturday afternoon. Video shows what appears to be a brief tornado touchdown. There you can see it. 6:07.
Yeah, we ended up with tornado reports, and of course, I know everybody down in the southern counties was locked in tornado warnings there over the weekend. Hope everybody's safe and sound. Enjoy a beautiful beginning to February. As temperatures are going to be in the 40s today, 50s by the middle of the week, and 60s before a huge cold front hits us over the weekend.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, getting crafty for the Super Bowl.
Well, there are so many different ways that you can be a Chiefs fan, and this year we have one Webb City resident who's making unique dishes for Chiefs Kingdom. We'll have that story for you coming up.
And speaking of getting creative for the big game, we'll show you one man's chainmail jersey. Wow. Plus a look at just how many Americans have a degree of protection against COVID-19. You're watching the KOAM Morning News, more real news in the morning. We'll be right back. In Money Watch this morning, Wall Street is looking for a rebound after stocks ended last week on a down note. The Dow dropped 620 points on Friday. The Nasdaq lost 266. The S&P 500 fell 73. Meanwhile, the GameStop saga goes on. Small investors have dramatically bid up the video game retailer's stock in recent weeks. On Friday, it closed at $325 a share. One person's gain is another's loss. However, the Wall Street Journal says Melvin Capital's holdings declined 53% in January. The hedge fund had shorted GameStop's stock, believing it would go down. When the price rose, Melvin was forced to exit its position, incurring a substantial loss in the process. Grubhub is helping Girl Scouts sell their cookies in select markets this year in a COVID-safe way. The online food delivery service is waiving its traditional fees so as not to cut into any of the troops' earnings. The partnership was announced earlier this month, but today is the first day you can order your cookies on Grubhub. Delivery will be free through February 14th with a minimum purchase of $15. Well, if you think your Mahomes jersey is special, check out this Kansas City man's homemade jersey. Chiefs superfan Rick Smith put together an $800 Pat Mahomes jersey made of chainmail. You know, the armor consisting of small metal rings that chainmail. If you're already thinking to yourself that you want your own, it's going to cost you a pretty penny.
To pry this particular one off me, it'd probably be about $4,000 to $5,000.
Wow.
To make another one, you know, it'd probably, the material cost and everything is the big upfront thing, you know, and then just the time involved to do it all.
There is, however, one person Rick wouldn't mind selling it to, and that's Patrick Mahomes himself. Rick says he'd have a hard time telling him no. For his next project, Rick plans to make a Chiefs wall mural with more than 100,000 chains. He made it fit really well. Well, coming up in our next half hour, you have a chance to put your football knowledge to the test and win some real money. It's Run It Back Trivia. Right after Nation Watch, we'll ask 3 different trivia questions which you can answer from the comfort of your own home. It's just like the KOAM Instapoll, except this time you go to KOAMnewsnow.com/trivia. The person who answers not just the correct answers, but the fastest will win a $50 gift card. And don't forget to fill out the form afterwards so we know who to send it to. And again, Run It Back Trivia will kick off after Nation Watch. So if you make sure you're tuned in at 6:35, you should have plenty of time to play. And if you don't win this time, don't worry, we'll be doing this every day for the rest of the week. That's it for Money Watch. We'll be right back.
Right at 6:17 on this first day of February. Clock just made it there. Live look from the Freeman Health System sky camera in Joplin. A little chill in the air. But right at, if not a little bit below, the freezing mark, and that's because of this north wind. Now, I have seen this die down earlier, that we were rolling in about 15 miles per hour, so that's a good sign right there. 28 in Iowa, 31 in Neosho, and 29 in Oswego. We'll call sunrise 7:20 on the bus stop forecast with those mostly cloudy skies, especially in the central and eastern portion of the 4 states. Now, we are clearing out here on the west. It's just that this fine line, it hasn't moved in the past 2 hours, but it's a big dry air mass that is hanging over us. You got to get on the other side of the Mississippi. Look at the trough of the jet stream right there, forcing winter weather from the Tennessee River Valley all the way to the northeastern portion of the United States, and they're just mired. You've got millions of people locked in right now with winter storm warnings and watches lasting from, well, look at this, it actually drops down into Georgia all the way up to Maine. So here in the 4 states, let's call our first day of February A-OK. Temperatures a little bit below normal. We'd normally get it to about 47 this time of year, but we'll take 42, 43 on the board. Nothing wrong with that. It's all a matter of how quickly we can get rid of those clouds. And then overnight, we're actually going to see the wind shift to the east, an indicator that we've got warmer temperatures on the way as we'll roll 40s today, 50s for Tuesday and Wednesday. And by the time we get into Thursday, we're talking about 60-degree weather. But then we've got a massive cold front that's going to get on us here. Mother Nature going to play a little trick on us to begin February compared to where we'll be over the weekend. We're dropping down to 13 degrees in between Saturday and Sunday, but hey, everybody's going to be inside probably, I would imagine, Sunday afternoon, 5:30 kickoff right here on KOAM for the Chiefs and the Buccaneers. Speaking of, over to our own Jesse Irwin in Studio K.
Thank you, sir. Well, believe it or not everyone loves watching football on Sundays. It doesn't mean they hate it, it just means that they cheer on their team in a different way. Now, Webb City resident Brooke Henderson is a perfect example of this. Even as the mother and daughter of devoted Chiefs fans, she'll admit football's just never really been her thing. So recently, she's been getting her head in the game by using her artistic side, something that's been there for a very long time.
Probably since the womb.
Okay, so a very long time.
No, I've always tried really hard to be into crafts.
And that's always been part of who Brooke Henderson is, and it's often injected with her sense of humor. For example, when the pandemic began and so many of us began wearing masks, she made this mask holder. Brooke's parents are huge Kansas City Chiefs fans, so ahead of the AFC Championship game, she surprised them with this. That's right, a Chiefs-themed casserole dish, 100% Mahomes made.
Just kind of quirky and something you don't see every day. And my mom immediately was like, that's incredible, you have to sell that.
Brooke had already practiced a bunch using her own cookware, So shortly after Mahomes and the Chiefs punched their ticket to Tampa, she listed her dishes on Facebook Marketplace, then asked her boyfriend to share it, and went to bed.
And that was a mistake. Because I woke up with so many messages of telling me or asking me if I could do it, and I was like shelling them out like as I was making them.
And Brooke is still trying to meet the demand, running back and forth to the store faster than Tyreek Hill just to make sure she has the supply to keep up, to the point where she's not even sure if the store does.
I go on lunch break to pick up a casserole dish at work, and the shelf was empty, and I'm like, this was me. I did this.
And if you've seen Brooke in line recently, know the cashier was probably thinking the same thing.
Well, the cashier is normally me since I do self-checkout, and every time I'm like, God, that's a lot of casserole dishes. So.
At the same time, it's the supportive nature of Chiefs Kingdom that keeps her going.
I think a lot of it is people telling me how much they like it, and then I'm like, oh, I can't stop now.
And while she still doesn't love football, Brooke's willing to admit that she and the Chiefs do share a few lifelong fans.
You know, it took me a while, but I finally listened to my mom after all these years.
Teeing up a much-anticipated season finale on Super Bowl Sunday.
Actual plans, I can't say I do have any plans. Probably eat a casserole.
We'll be right back with some Chiefs trivia and more KOAM Morning News right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, as many as a third of Americans may now have some degree of protection against COVID-19. And officials continue to urge those eligible for a vaccine to get one, as it's now a race against the coronavirus variants. Mandy Gaither has more.
Between coronavirus vaccinations and natural immunity for those who have recovered from an infection, about 12% and perhaps as much as a third of Americans have some immunity to COVID-19, according to a CNN analysis. But officials urge continued vigilance.
Getting vaccinated does not say now I have a free pass to travel, nor does it say that I have a free pass to put aside all of the public health measures that we talk about all the time.
About 6% of the U.S. population has been vaccinated against COVID-19, according to the latest data from the CDC. While cases across much of the country are plateauing, that's not expected to last. The virus keeps mutating.
What we're now going to see are these new variants, much more infectious viruses, much more easily transmitted, even causing more serious illness, are now going to overlay on top of that very high baseline. So what we can expect to see in the course of the next, I think, 6 to 14 weeks is something that we haven't even come close to experiencing yet.
But health experts say even with the virus variants, there is something that we can do to keep infection numbers down.
The good news is it's still spread by small droplets. It still can be largely prevented by masking and physical distancing.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Experts say that people who have already had COVID-19 should still get the vaccine, while antibodies present after you recover from COVID-19 does give you immunity for a period of time. The vaccine should provide longer immunity. About 1,000 Southwest Missouri residents receive COVID-19 vaccines at a mass vaccine clinic. A mass vaccination clinic was held by the Missouri National Guard on Friday, marking the first mass clinic to happen in our part of the state. The drive-through style clinic was by appointment only and was open to residents in Phase 1A and the first two parts of Phase 1B. One of them was Joplin resident Kristen DeVore.
I am really glad. It is something that is really important to me just because, you know, I haven't been able to see my family, like my parents, like I hope, you know, I can in the near future.
Announce more smaller scale vaccine clinics soon, and we'll have information on how you can get notifications directly from the city for those clinics on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. A new study adds to growing evidence pregnant women should get the coronavirus vaccine. Research out of the University of Pennsylvania suggests infected pregnant women transfer high levels of COVID-19 antibodies to their newborns through the placenta, meaning vaccinations for moms-to-be could pass on immunity to the child. Both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines generate high levels of COVID-19 antibodies. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
At least we stay away from the wintry mess that they have from the Tennessee River Valley all the way through portions of New England. Our only thing we're waiting on is the removal of our morning cloud cover. Sunrise at 7:20 over Joplin with that mostly cloudy start. We'll actually have gradually clearing afternoon and make it up into the 40s, the beginning of a February warming trend. 50s, middle of the week, though a 60 up on Thursday for a massive cold front is here for the weekend. Be back right after this.
Why the Jasper County Health Department is asking for patience as it continues to roll out the coronavirus vaccine. Plus, a Southeast Kansas man dies in a single vehicle wreck Sunday evening. And the latest after the person of interest in a Sarcoxy homicide is found dead.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Tanya Bach. Coming up this half hour, the latest as a winter storm slams the East Coast. And after Nation Watch this morning, we're giving you the chance to test your football knowledge with our Run It Back trivia. You can participate for the chance to win a $50 gift card. To play, you just need to go to KOAMnewsnow.com/trivia. But first, a check on your forecast.
I'll get to that winter storm here in a second. I want to talk about our cloud cover. I could put that thing on about a 4-hour loop right there, and it wouldn't move. That line of clouds for the central and eastern portion of the 4 states has just been stuck right there. Freeman Health System sky camera in Joplin, 31 degrees. Because of the cloud cover, our temperatures really haven't moved at all as well, ranging right at or a skosh below the freezing mark as the wind comes in from the north and northwest, but we're down to that 5 to 10 mile per hour range, so that's not too bad. Still holding on to wind chills in the teens. Mount Vernon's dropped down to 19 right now, Neodesha and Independence at 18. There is that storm system that Tanya was talking about, ranges from the Tennessee River Valley all the way to the northeastern portion of the United States. Winter storm warnings last from Georgia to Maine. That's impressive in scope. For us, though, after the clouds get out of here, we're going to have a delightful beginning to February. How about we throw up some 50s for Tuesday and Wednesday, 60 for Thursday, for a massive cold front presents itself right before the weekend and plummets us down to the point where we're going to have overnight lows in the teens for Saturday into Sunday.
All right.
Super Bowl Sunday, I might add. Did I mention kickoff is at 5:30 right here on KOAM?
You're going to need to add a little graphic to Sunday.
I'm working on it.
Nice.
I'm trying to find something a little bit more that's better than a football. I'm trying to make something here as we go.
You could put a football with Patrick Mahomes' hair on it.
No.
Okay. Just a thought. I'm trying. All right. Thanks, Michael. The Jasper County Health Department is asking for patience as it continues to schedule county residents for vaccination against the coronavirus. The department took to social media yesterday to explain its supply of vaccine cannot currently meet the demand in Jasper County. They also say they'll keep scheduling vaccination clinics as they receive more vaccine. They also want county residents who were recently vaccinated at the Joplin Athletic Complex with the National Guard to know that they are automatically scheduled to return in 3 weeks to the same site and at the same appointment time to receive their second shot. A Pittsburgh, Kansas man is dead following a wreck on US 59 highway. It happened just before 5:30 yesterday evening, about 2 miles north of K47 in Neosho County, Kansas. Police say 26-year-old Jesse White was traveling north on US 59 when his vehicle went off the left side of the road and overturned multiple times. He was pronounced dead at the scene. 36-year-old passenger suffered minor injuries. Another fatal wreck yesterday evening, this one 2 miles east of Mount Vernon, Missouri. Missouri Highway Patrol says 27-year-old Matthew Vermillion of Ash Grove, Missouri, crossed the center line while traveling east on State Highway 174. Vermillion crashed head-on into an oncoming car and overturned. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the other vehicle was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Officials with the Jasper County Sheriff's Office say the person of interest in the murder of Becky Sanders of Sarcoxy has been found dead. Officials say the Coleman County Sheriff's Office in Alabama received information about a possible location for Justin Chase Stevens. Authorities say the information they received said Stevens was staying in the garage apartment of a residence in Coleman County. Deputies surrounded the house and attempted to call him out. However, after Stevens did not respond to requests to come out, deputies entered the garage and found Stevens dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Yesterday at Ewart Park in Joplin, volunteers set up a lunch and free shop for anyone in the community hit hard by the pandemic, especially the homeless population. Volunteers offered free food as well as other essentials for anyone in need.
We're making grilled cheese and tomato soup, and we have a free shop of necessities, hand warmers, gloves, coats, some shampoos and toiletries and stuff, and anybody can come and get it if they need them.
The event was open to anyone in the community who is in need. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. A flurry of wintry weather.
A blockbuster of a snowstorm threatening to bring as much as 2 feet of snow to the northeast. I'm Deborah Alfarone in the nation's capital, where the snowstorm stopped in before heading north.
And after that, we're challenging you to run it back trivia, with a winner getting a $50 gift card. To participate, you'll need to go to KOAMnewsnow.com/trivia. But first, it's 6:37.
Temperatures in the mid-40s later this afternoon, gradually clearing skies. February begins with a warming trend as we see 50s by the middle of the week before the cold front arrives for the weekend. We'll be back with Nation Watch and Run It Back Trivia right after this.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, a major winter storm is bearing down on the northeastern U.S., bringing with it a treacherous combination of cold air, high winds, and driving snow. Deborah Alfarone reports from Washington, D.C.
Storm watches, warnings, and advisories are posted from the Midwest all the way up to Maine. The region is being hit by a blast of unusually powerful winter weather. Snow began falling in the New York City area on Sunday night. It's expected to continue until Tuesday, with as much as 2 feet piling up in some places.
This is not a storm to underestimate. Take it seriously. This is a dangerous storm.
Forecasters warned that the snow would be accompanied by winds gusting up to 60 miles an hour, strong enough to down trees and power lines. The National Weather Service urged people to avoid wooded areas and even advised staying indoors and away from windows.
Here in the nation's capital, experiencing its first significant snowfall in almost 2 years, they declared a snow emergency. Similar declarations have been made in Philadelphia, New York City, and in the entire state of New Jersey.
This slow-moving system churned across the country over the weekend. Northern Illinois got hit with over 12 inches of snow. Milwaukee tallied 10 inches on Saturday night alone. The weather nearly turned tragic in Virginia when a fire truck overturned on an ice-covered road. 4 crew members were hospitalized. All are expected to survive. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
Because of the severity of the weather, officials in New York have canceled COVID-19 vaccinations that had been scheduled for today. It's unclear if Tuesday's appointments will also be canceled. 10 Republican senators wrote to President Biden to offer a compromise economic stimulus plan they value at some $600 billion. That's roughly 1/3 the cost of President Biden's COVID relief package. The lawmakers hope to prevent Democrats from passing legislation without GOP support. The CDC wants you to stay safe for the Super Bowl, and that's why it's issuing new pandemic-related guidance for the big game. CDC says attending large gatherings, including the Super Bowl, increases your risk of getting and spreading COVID-19. The guidance goes on to say the safest way to watch the Super Bowl is at home with people you live with. However, if you choose to go to the game or a larger event like a watch party, there are a few things you can do that might help protect you, and those include using noisemakers instead of cheering, arriving early to avoid crowds, and using touchless payment methods. That's a look at today's top national stories. It's time for Run It Back Trivia, and we bring in our resident sports experts, Jesse and Michael.
All right. Well,
that was kind. Extremely kind of you, Tanya. Far from expertise.
I'll take the title of expert.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Tanya, you know, in a few seconds, we're going to pop up a Super Bowl trivia question on your screen. So make sure you have your phone, your tablet, or computer out and ready to go. Just go to KOAMnewsnow.com/trivia.
All right, so let me get this right, Jesse. KOAMnewsnow.com/trivia.
Correct.
All right, so I want to get this started in about 30 seconds.
Okay, all right. Are you
30
ready?
seconds, we're on the clock. That gives everybody time to log in, just like our Instapoll. You go to that link, komnewsnow.com/trivia, and you can participate with us.
Okay, so here are the rules. You'll have 13 seconds to answer a multiple choice question. Now, the faster you pick the right answer, the more points you get.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, quickness wins here. The winner gets a $50 gift card, so you got to make sure you fill out your information at the end so we know to get you your prize. Otherwise, Michael might claim it, right? Yeah. All right. Are we ready to start?
Let's go.
Let's do it. Okay. First question. How many years has it been since Kansas City has made a big game appearance? All right. Think about it. Is it a trick question?
1 o'clock.
I don't know. All right. Well, the answer is 1. That is right. The answer is 1. We might have a winner here, but we got 2 more questions. So keep your phone or device out. Here we go. The second question for you. How many times have Kansas City and Tampa Bay played each other in franchise history?
Ooh,
Franchise
the
history.
Franchise
here.
history. We're talking regular season and postseason.
Okay.
You guys have any guesses? Any thoughts?
I'm watching the votes come in here. I want to see what everybody has to say.
Yeah, well, we got, it's close. I mean, got a couple. But the answer is, you know the answer, Michael?
13.
13.
13. That's correct. All right, last question. Here we go. Last question is, how many conference championships have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won in their history? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4?
All right, here we go.
Michael, you probably know the last time they won. Tanya, do you know?
I do.
A lot of
Remember
varying on
vividly.
the answers here.
Ah ha ha. We got some smart people playing along with us.
Oh yeah, well the answer is 2.
Yeah.
They are right. All right, so that means we have asked all 3 questions, and do we know who our winner is? Let's see. Stand by for the final results. And the winner,
exciting.
viewer 5669.
That was not my number. It's not my number.
Hey, congratulations to viewer 5669. If you know somebody who would love doing this, make sure they wake up and join us tomorrow morning. We're going to be doing it all morning long.
Too cool. That worked out extremely well. Congratulations, 5669. Make sure you fill out this form I'm looking at right now.
That's pretty cool. You get a $50 gift card.
$50 gift card. We're going to do it all week long. And, make sure you fill out the information, because if viewer 5669 doesn't get it, somebody else might. So make sure you do it. Join us tomorrow morning. And I think you guys have something coming up after this, right?
Oh, we got to do birthdays and anniversaries, my man.
Favorite time of the morning.
Be back right after this.
We take this time to honor today's 4-state hero. Specialist Eric Goltra joined the United States Army in 2006. He fought in Iraq. His hometown, Fort Scott, Kansas. We're proud to salute Eric Goltra, our 4-state hero.
All right, our birthdays kick off with Emmeline Blackburn. Happy birthday to Emmeline. I love the get up, kiddo. She is celebrating in Pittsburgh, and this big 3-year-old gets happy birthday wishes from Mom, Dad, Papa Alan, and Grandma Evelyn.
Cutest little Dalmatian ever there. Ellie Lampy turning 4 years old this year. Ellie is in La Harpe, Kansas.
Geyer Louise Humble. I want you to know Nana sending you these happy birthday wishes as Geyer celebrates number 6 in Girard.
Oh, great picture. And Willa Fecky is 7 years old this year. Growing up there, Willa, in Carl Junction. She's in 1st grade now. Love mommy, daddy, and sister.
Reed Prophet celebrating his 8th birthday. Reed, a marvelous day to you, sir. He is in Pittsburgh.
And Braylon Crumpacker turning 8 years old this year. Happy birthday, Braylon.
Cameron Burchett, she has a 9th birthday. Cameron, wants you to have a marvelous day. She's in Liberal.
Ryder Murphy celebrating birthday number 9 in Seneca.
And Jama Stevenson, an 11th birthday. Peace out, kiddo. She is in, where's she? Next City. She's turning 11.
Then we head out to Parsons to celebrate birthday number 12 for Reagan Thompson. Hope it's a great one.
Joy Crete. Ah, what a great picture right there, Joy. A happy teenage birthday. She celebrates and liberal.
All right, and Katie Dragoo is celebrating a birthday, and if it's Katie's birthday, it means it's Haley's birthday as well. The Dragoo twins in Seneca celebrating today.
Got a big 18th birthday for Jackie White. That's too cool picture right there. Happy birthday, Jackie. She is in Girard.
Down in Diamond, Missouri, Cody Baylor is 18 years old. Little throwback pic there.
Kiona Frobish. A happy birthday, number 19 this year. Kiona is celebrating in Columbus.
All right, and Jonathan Honeshell is the big 4-0 this year. Happy birthday, Jonathan, in Carthage.
Got an anniversary in the form of Brent and Lynn Linder. They are celebrating 51 years. I tell you what, Linders, it is going to be a marvelous beginning of February to be out on that bike. Get out and enjoy it there in Pittsburgh.
All right, and in Parsons, belated birthday wish going out to Crystal Noble back on the 26th, turned 39. David Saya in Arma, happy birthday to you.
Kim Mosberg, she celebrates a birthday in Pittsburgh. Happy birthday, Kim. And then over the weekend, Carol Madron, she celebrated a birthday. Carol in Coffeyville. Happy birthday, happy anniversary to all on this February 1. Here's Tanya Bach with a very important birthday announcement.
That's right, you can be a part of the KOAM Birthday Club. All you have to do is go to our website and sign up. And once you do, you'll get special deals from local businesses. Go to KOAMBirthdays.com and sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club today.
Speaking of it being the first day of February, Mother Nature's going to tease us a little bit because we've got a warming trend on our hands for the first 4 days before a big Arctic blast hits us right in time for the weekend. Freeman Health System sky camera sits at 31 degrees right now. We do have a little bit of a wind chill in effect, but the nice thing is the north wind has calmed down to just 5 to 10 miles per hour as temperatures sit pretty much right at, if not a couple degrees below the freezing mark. Sunrise at 7:20 for the kids on the bus stop forecast. The only thing they need to worry about is just staying warm because we've got clearing skies. Eventually, this cloud cover, it just hasn't moved. But it's a big dry air mass, so that's not too bad. And look at this mess that they have on the other side of the Mississippi, right in the trough of the jet stream, as we've got a snow system that lasts from the Tennessee River Valley all the way to the northeast, and winter storm watches and warnings ranging from Georgia all the way to Maine. So we consider ourselves fortunate to start this month, and the fact that we'll have afternoon sunshine and make it up into the low 40s, just a touch below where we'd normally be to start the month. But we've got this warming trend that feeds us nice southwestern temperatures that'll put us into the 50s on both Tuesday and Wednesday. As a matter of fact, how about those 60 up there for Thursday? But then look at this cold front that drops in. Going to bring us some snow as we head into the weekend. Going to be a great day to catch the Super Bowl right here on KOAM because it's just going to be a cold one. Be back, wrap up this edition of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Week push. Here's what we got on the KOAM News Now Facebook page. It's called our Spirit Week Kickoff. We're doing Mahomes Monday and asking you to send in photos of yourself, the kids, even if it's one of your pets. And later on tonight, we're going to roll out some of these marvelous pictures we got. We're going to have a different theme each and every day. Today, we're concentrating on the man himself. Bust out that number 15 jersey. Maybe you got a headband. Maybe you got that Patrick Mahomes haircut. Like I said, we'll run some of those pictures during our KOAM evening newscast. Tanya?
All right. Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A Pittsburgh, Kansas man is dead following a wreck on US 59 highway. It happened just before 5:30 yesterday evening, about 2 miles north of K47 in Neosho County, Kansas. Police say 26-year-old Jesse White was traveling north on US 59 when his vehicle went off the left side of the road and overturned multiple times. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A 36-year-old passenger suffered minor injuries. Another fatal wreck yesterday evening, this one 2 miles east of Mount Vernon, Missouri. Missouri Highway Patrol says 27-year-old Matthew Vermillion of Ash Grove, Missouri, crossed the center line while traveling east on State Highway 174. Vermillion crashed head-on into an oncoming car and overturned. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the other vehicle was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Officials with the Jasper County Sheriff's Office say the person of interest in the murder of Becky Sanders of Sarcoxie has been found dead. officials say the Coleman County Sheriff's Office in Alabama received information that Justin Chase Stevens was staying in a garage apartment at a residence in Coleman County. Deputies surrounded the house and attempted to call him out. When police entered the garage, they found Stevens dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Jasper County Health Department is asking for patience as it continues to schedule county residents for vaccination against the coronavirus. The department took to social media yesterday to explain its supply of vaccine cannot currently meet the demand in Jasper County, but they also say they'll keep scheduling vaccination clinics as they receive more vaccine. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Midwest will remain dry here for about the next 4 days, waiting on the cloud cover to move off to the east. Just hasn't wanted to budge so far, with temperatures right now a little bit below the freezing mark, but after we hit sunrise and the clouds begin to move off, we'll get up into the low to mid 40s here later on this afternoon. Going to be a delightful beginning to February and a warming trend all the way through the middle of the week before the big one moves in. Good old-fashioned Arctic blast from Thursday all the way to the weekend. Tanya, check out the Sunday panel.
I'll take it. Oh, no, I won't.
Well, you know what today is, right?
Oh, your graphic is on there now.
I got it.
Yeah.
I was fighting it for the longest time. I got it up. There we go.
There you go.
Woo!
Finally got it up.
You know what you got to get marked on there next?
What's that?
Mahomes Monday.
Well, I almost put the groundhog up, and I'm like, then we're just getting a little graphic. We're getting a little graphic heavy, so I was good with just the Super
Really,
Bowl
Michael?
logo.
Just start forgetting what day it is.
Is that why you don't have the groundhog up?
Yeah. Well, I won't get into that one.
All right, well, coming up today at noon, we're making raspberry streusel muffins in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Of course, your morning news continues on KOAM. We've got the CBS Morning News coming up next.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues.
Well, you know what? If anybody knows how to make a custom casserole dish, it's a Chiefs fan that we're going to be looking at over on Fox 14. She's making some phenomenal Chiefs cookware, and we're going to have that story for you.
I love the story you tell about what clerks must think of her when she walks in and keeps buying. Wraps it up for this edition. Have a great, safe Monday. We'll do this.